For them, they live in this beautiful cove. My grandparents, they live in the likeness of their home in Wisconsin, where they raised two beautiful little girls, and one of them happens to be my mom. So when they want to go visit, it's a pretty instant thing, but they get in a covered wagon and get some horses, and boom, they shoot on over there, and they're with my grandparents, and they relive all the memories that they've had in their life, you know. And when Jane sees it, she sees it in 3D. When she sees me as a little boy in a bowling alley chasing a bowling ball, I'm 4 years old. That's how she sees me, and that's how my parents replay all of their memories. Um, and when they go to my grandparents' house, they replay the time my dad asked for uh, to marry my mom. You know, all these memories are so precious to them, and they replay them whenever they want. But they're also with us every day, and the memories that Jane and I make today, and I know they're here today, and I know that there's this huge communication in heaven. And when they know we're coming here, there's this huge communication that lets all of your family members know that we're having a meeting here. And what they want us to share with you is that they're here, and that you can talk to them. You know, you can, we're here not just for the people on earth, but for the angels. We call them angels in heaven. They're our beloved lost ones. They want to hear from all of us. When I first started, I would know through Jane that my dad would be there sometime, because I could ask a question and he would answer it that night. And I used to just write down on a piece of paper when I had a question, or if I wanted to just tell him I loved him, or on Father's Day, I'd write him out a Father's Day card, or my mom, you know, a birthday card or something. And at night, I'd know that through Jane that they'd seen that. But I know now that I can talk to my dad almost any time of the day, and my mom, I know when I go for a walk that she's always with me. And another amazing thing is Jane has an incredible gift. She's so in tune with not only my family, but her family too. But she'll roll over at night, and she'll give me this big, big hug. And she'll say, "That's the mommy hugging you." And she's sound asleep. And then all of a sudden I'll get another big hug, and she'll say, "Grandma's hugging you." And then the other night she squeezed me so hard that the air came out of me. And she said, "That's all the angels of the people that you went to go see. That's all the angels hugging you." And she'll reach up and she'll rub my head. And she'll say, "The daddy's rubbing your head." And then later she'll rub my head again. So she'll say, "Grandpa's rubbing your head." But they want you all to know that they're around all the time. And I know maybe you're in a room with somebody else and it's hard to talk, you know, but you can always write a little note. Or before you go to sleep, just tell them you love them. You know, I suffered for 40 years wondering whether my dad knew how much I loved him. And how was I ever going to tell him? And now I know there's never a day that goes by I don't tell my dad that I love him. And one of the other things they want us to spread the word, to pray every day. You know, to just thank Jesus for everything we've gotten, and thank him for our loved ones, and this is our message. I'm going to let Jane talk for a little bit.
One of the things that I want to share with you is that heaven is not someplace way, way out there that you can't touch. Heaven is right here next to you. It's not way up there in the clouds. Your loved ones are right here next to you. And the reason Mr. Stanley told me 6 years of stories, well, it was 4 before I started writing the book, is to convince me, because I'm asleep. I don't know what's going on while I'm asleep. And they're all telling me these stories, and I'm hearing them on a tape recorder, and I'm making him write to his family to prove to me that what I'm saying is indeed fact, because I don't know details about his family, or his grandparents, or his great-grandparents, or their great-grandparents, or I didn't know you used to have to ask a dad for a woman's hand in marriage. I mean, that doesn't happen in my generation. I'm sure that happened, you guys all remember that, but I didn't know things like that happened. So I took all these stories and I put it into love stories in here and what heaven is like. But I also write in here what I learned is that even though your loved ones have passed on, They want you to know that when you close your eyes that last time here, and you open them again, all of your loved ones are going to be waiting for you. They know when it's your time. It doesn't matter if it's a baby that died 2 cells or 3 cells old that was miscarried or stillborn or aborted. Those little babies know who their mommies and daddies and families are. So for those women who had a stillborn, or what I learned, did this. My dad had a sister that died during childbirth, and her name was Carol. And she came to me and she said, "Hi, I'm your Aunt Carol." And I'm like, "Aunt Carol? I don't have an Aunt Carol. I've never heard of an Aunt Carol." And she says, "I died in childbirth. But you ask your dad, my name's Carol." I called my dad on the phone and I said, "Dad, do you have a sister named Carol?" And he said, "How do you know that?" And I said, "Did she die during childbirth?" And he said, "Yes." And that's when I started to believe. This was a year and a half after these stories started, when I confirmed that indeed I had an Aunt Carol and I didn't know it. And what our loved ones want you to know is that when you do close your eyes, if you have somebody, and I know we all do, have somebody that's passed on, they're waiting for you. They know when it's going to be your turn. For those mothers and fathers, those families that have lost a child that was stillborn or aborted or died, or any loved one that's ever passed on, they're going to be waiting for you. They'll know when it's your turn. And they want you to know that they're going to take your hand and take you into this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful light and show you what heaven is like. It's the most amazing place. And I want you all to know that I see so many angels in this room, and it's just full. I know you guys can feel them because I see some others here. This room is full of angels. This whole facility is full of angels. And I have so many angels on my shoulders, sometimes I feel too much responsibility because they want me to come and talk to you and tell you, hold their hand. When you wake up in the morning and you forget for that one little second that your loved one, your partner, your life partner is not laying there, if you can feel them laying there for just a second before you fully come conscious, they're laying there with you. They're laying there holding you at night just like they did when they're in their bodies. And they love you, and they've never left your side. And that's the message that I wanted to bring to you. So we're going to do a drawing. I'm going to get about 5 of my books. But before we do that, I want to see if you have any questions or anything that you want to share. Oh, I do have one more thing I want to tell you. One wonderful thing about heaven is when you go to heaven, I have yet to see anybody who has gray hair, no hair, glasses, who are not young and gorgeous. When you go to heaven, you can be whatever age you want to be. Richard's mom has a certain age she wants to be. I think that she likes to be about 30 because that was the very best she saw herself at. Richard's dad likes to be, well, he was a surfer guy, you know, and he likes himself around age 19. Well, if you were always short here and you wanted to be taller, let me tell you, in heaven, you can be taller. If you want to be shorter, you can be shorter. Let me tell you, for women who want to be just so, right? When you're in heaven, you're just so. And for us who like to have our hair done, our makeup just right, once you get to heaven, you put it on, it stays just like that, going under the waterfalls, or going skiing, or going water skiing, or whatever fun things you want to do in heaven, baby, you look perfect all the time. So you're young, you're beautiful. I had one gentleman ask me, I went to one of these retirement homes, he said, when my wife died, she didn't have any legs. You think she has legs now? I said, let me tell you something. Not only does she have legs, she's up there water skiing and snow skiing, and she has the most beautiful legs that you've ever seen because God loves us so much that we're perfect in Him. We're perfect, and it's a beautiful thing. Any questions or stories or? Okay, well, let's just think for a minute while we're doing the drawing. So we have some papers that are there.
Okay.
And I'll let you just shuffle through them and